scientific task setting is yet another technique introduced by the father of scientific management, Mr. Frederick Taylor, in handling scientific management process. Before knowing its advantages, let us understand what do you mean by scientific task setting. Well, as the name suggests, task setting. So now, scientifically task setting means you take appropriate method to first analyze what is the task, how much time it is required, in what way it should be done, and the whole process is critically analyzed. For this, the scientific method of or technique of work study is used, in which time study, motion study, fatigue study, and method studies are done. Once I know how the product will be produced, I can now really understand how much time and in what method the production will be happening or service will be delivered. So scientific task setting helps me what? I understand how much time a one unit of production takes. So automatically it will help me in what? Yes, this scientific task setting helps in fixing Faraday's work. Let us take an example. Let's say with a scientific task setting, I started understanding that okay, for the production of, let's say, this watch, right from raw material to finished product, I require 20 minutes if all setup is in place. So a worker requires a 20 minutes. So in an hour, he'll finish what? 3. So in an 8-hour shift, he'll be finishing what? 24. But understand, a person does not work 24/7. So on an average, in an 8-hour shift, I would be expecting not 24, but let's say minimum 20 watches has to be produced, finished products. So now it helps me in fixing Faraday's work of an employee. So scientific task setting understand that how much time is required to finish this task automatically help me in fixing day's work. Now what does this happens? Suddenly now management knows that in one day one worker or one skilled properly trained worker will at least do how much? 20 finished products. So if he's doing only 8, now management can immediately cross check. Why 8? We know for this much is time needed, so why only 8? So automatically there is a scientific task setting helps and provides a great control over employees' underperformance compared to their standard capacity. So if somebody is performing less than the capacity, we can directly ask them to control, identify the reasons why it's performing below his capacity. Now, if this such a beautiful method, scientific task setting gives me a huge boon, not only for management, but it also gives us what? Awareness to employees that employees are now aware that this much is the task assigned as per the standard given. So now employees also know that boss, in a day I need to ensure that 20 products should be produced. So employees also are aware about how much standards they need to minimum achieve. Automatically what happens? Now management has a control over efficient utilization of the workforce human resource. They can avoid wastage of time, unnecessary time pass of the employees, and they can demand a proper qualitative output. Hence, scientific task setting basically helps us what? It helps us fix the time required, standard time required to finish a task, which eventually leads us to what? Fixing a fair day's work, which eventually leads what? Managers now have a better control in controlling underperformance of the employee compared to their standard works or standard defined works. Employees are also aware about their tasks according to standard settings. Eventually, management has a better control over optimum utilization of their workforce.